Okay, we got what Disney and Uber don't want you to know from More Perfect Union.
Whenever you click accept on a terms of service, what exactly are you signing away? It's
Everything. Literally, they could, these guys could put anything in the terms of service, and all that is required of you is to like grab the little scroll bar on the right, grab it, pull it all the way down, and hit the accept button because that's like they realize that like if they put that gigantic thing right there and left the accept button there, they realized that everyone was doing that, and it's like, oh shit, we gotta have like another layer of bullshit. So it's like, okay, now we have like a scroll bar, you gotta grab it, pull it down, and then the little accept button pops up for most things now because it was too simple before. And also, South Park did an episode on this, and it's absolutely hilarious.
probably not what you'd expect.
A grieving husband filed a lawsuit against Disney after his wife died at Disney Springs. But Disney wants this case thrown out.
They're using the husband's Disney Plus subscription as the reason why.
How?
Even that mountain of legal jargon you scan through when signing up for subscriptions like Disney Plus is a nefarious clause that waives a fundamental right for consumers and protects negligent companies from accountability. You know, a totally reasonable exchange to stream Inside Out to.
Discover blah blah blah. But now that Riley's teenager, wait, what is happening?
This quiet tactic isn't just weaponized by Disney, but by countless other multi-billion-dollar behemoths. And don't just think you'll beat them at their game by actually reading their terms and conditions.
No, yeah, like that's not happening because so what? You don't accept the terms and conditions, and so you don't get the service. Whoop-de-doo. Then you gotta go somewhere else to go be entertained.
These life-altering clauses lurk in places you might not even expect. Airbnb used it when someone was murdered at one of their properties, and Wayfair used it to crush a legal challenge over allegedly shipping customers furniture infested with bed bugs. Intrigued by the absurdity of these cases, I had to figure out what was going on. What exactly is Disney sneaking into their terms that make this?
Wait, Disney uses streaming terms to block wrongful death lawsuit against Florida resort. So something happened, wrongful death. So somebody got killed, but because the person had a Disney Plus subscription, they can't sue? Like, what? That's absolutely stupid. And this is like in August 2024. It's not that long ago. Any judge that reviews this case has to like please have some common sense. Just ignore this. Oh my God. Like, oh, he signed the terms and conditions. He's got Disney Plus. That means he can't sue, even though it was our fault. Please, what is happening to this case?
Legal. How long can companies like Disney get away with it? And what more do we as consumers stand to lose? To start out, I called the lawyer for another case you might have heard about.
A court blocks a couple from suing Uber over a crash, citing terms and conditions. What the fuck? Wait, is this along the same like line of thought of like if you go and you get like a gym membership, you sign a liability waiver that says if I get hurt, it's my fault and it's not the gym's fault. Is this kind of like that? It seems like by using Uber, you acknowledge that if you get into a car accident, that you cannot sue Uber. I mean, if you're a judge, like, come on. This is a tricky one. I'm not too sure on what I would think.
The McGinty's were out to dinner with friends. They ordered an Uber to go home. They started traveling home, and everything seemed normal until all of a sudden they were screaming, bracing for impact as they realized that their Uber driver who had been fussing with the application, was running a red light and they were about to slam into a van that was taking workers home from a local warehouse to their collection point. John really thought that was the end of his wife's life. Georgia suffered fractures to her sternum, to her ribs. She suffered tears to her abdominal wall and had to undergo numerous surgeries and will still likely be going under surgeries for the rest of her life.
So the McGinty's sued to compensate them for the financial, physical, and emotional toll the accident had taken on them. Uber cooperated.
I mean, was it those passengers' fault that they got into an accident? Like the man and the wife? I mean, like common sense wise would be like, well, it's that person's fault. I mean, I don't know how like Uber works or whatever. It's like, are you gonna sue the person or are you gonna sue Uber? I mean, you're using Uber as a service, so it would stand to reason that you should sue Uber. Because I mean, bro, you're not gonna get like water out of a rock if you sue that one individual dude. Like, let's be real.
For nearly a year until suddenly its tune changed.
After it had gotten information from us in Discovery, it decided it wasn't going to provide its answers. It wasn't going to respond to our demands. It was instead going to try to compel arbitration.
What is arbitration? Why does it matter? It's something the McGinty's agreed to, Uber argues, when they hit accept on the terms of service for their Uber Eats account. And
Oh, Uber Eats? What? They are dealing with like potential lawsuits over, well, they are like like agreeing to things that they can do later if something gets fucked up on Uber Eats.
at first glance, it actually seems like a good deal. Instead of going through the typical lengthy and very expensive legal process, Uber and the McGinty's would have an independent third party, called an arbitrator, decide the case. So no judge, jury, or courtroom is involved.
If you were to read about arbitration in a textbook, you might think this is great for consumers. It's faster, it's cheaper, and they will be able to get a fair adjudication of the results by a professional in the field. But
Oh, okay. It's faster and it's cheaper. So, okay, that kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, if I'm like a little no-name who that just got like wronged by like a big company, it's like, oh, it's faster, it's cheaper, it's so much more convenient. Knee-jerk reaction is that, okay, so what's the implication? If I were to make this like long and drawn out, like I don't got the money to go up against like a big scary like company or something, but it's like the risk versus reward. Like if you take a lot of risk and like drag it out and all this other shit, you could have like a potential like huge like compensation, like actually going to court and all that stuff, versus like going to arbitration, which is like what, like mini court, or like I don't even know how to describe it.
that just is not how it plays out in reality for several reasons.
Arbitration clauses keep consumers from bringing their cases to a jury, something that a person
Okay, it keeps consumers from bringing their cases to jury. That's the key thing.
living their lives might see as absolutely terrible. An arbitrator might have seen many times before, and so it might not shock the arbitrator in the same way, and so the arbitrator is going to feel less sympathy for the person who was injured, perhaps,
Oh,
and they might feel like awarding less money.
because they have seen it way more than a judge. The whole justice is blind thing comes into play here.
Corporations also get to pick the companies that provide the arbitration.
Oh, companies also get. So the arbitration could. Okay, so this probably has to do with like AI now. So Arbitration Bro has like an AI program or something that they amass a large data set of like, okay, I work like with these type of cases, and of all the type of cases, this is like a general gist of it, and it's like they versed this big company over this dispute, and sometimes the little guy would win, sometimes the big guy would win. And of the times that the big guy lost, it's like, okay, they have to pay out this much, which is like a huge, like couple million, I don't know. But if you go to arbitration, then you could not necessarily pay like $1 million, but maybe like only $100,000 or something like that, which is like, that's great for a big company that they don't have to pay like a couple million, and would only get away with like 100 million or something, or like 100,000. Ah, okay.
There's a professor at Harvard who agreed to serve as an arbitrator for one of the big arbitration providers.
In the first few cases, she decided in favor of the companies. But when she decided in favor of consumers,
Not only did the arbitration provider stop sending her cases, it told the parties to some other arbitrations that had already been assigned to her that she had a scheduling conflict, which
It seemed clear that I was being removed simply because I had once ruled on the merits against a credit card company. Jesus fucking Christ, man. After having ruled for the company numerous times, and saying additionally that in sending out a misleading statement about my being unable because of a schedule conflict, when actually I had been removed by the company, NAF was depriving any party that might want to investigate or challenge the system for bias of vital information.
she testified in Congress she did not in fact have.
Sovern told me that there are many years where, in the United States, more people are struck by lightning than when in an arbitration case.
Oh, so, okay, so this is like some good life advice. If ever I have to go to arbitration, chances are I am probably going to lose. And don't even, like, oh, God damn it.
Arbitration has, in the last few decades, become a tool for corporations to avoid any and all responsibility for reckless, immoral, or illegal actions.
Let me read. Any dispute between you and us, except for small claims, is subject to a class action waiver and must be resolved by individual binding arbitration. So that's like a bad word for the little guy and a great word for a big company. Please read the arbitration provision in this agreement as it affects your rights under this contract. No. I'm taking you to court, bitch.
Reckless, immoral, or illegal actions. It undermines any attempt at institutional change through legal means for two simple reasons. The first involves what's called discovery.
Discovery is the process by which the parties exchange information. You can make the other side answer questions. You can make them turn over documents. You can make them sit for a deposition.
Discovery is one of the critical ways that people, consumers, can hold companies accountable. Damning memos may be submitted for evidence and eventually published in the public record.
Okay, so discovery is when the little guy has a chance to get information from big guy. Okay.
Years ago, Ford made Pintos, and the Pintos had gas tanks that exploded and injured people. And that raised questions of, well, why did they put the gas tanks where they would explode and injure people when the Pintos got into a crash? And it's through discovery that you can find that out.
Without discovery made public, we would have never known that Ford knew about this gas tank hazard and chose to do nothing about it. These damning discoveries can be used by other lawyers to apply even more legal pressure to these corporations.
But if it's secret, you don't get any bad publicity. The public is not going to punish you. It's not going to boycott your product if you just keep doing it, because the public may never know about it.
And that's exactly what happens in arbitration. Any uncovered evidence, it stays a secret.
If the McGinty's found a memo from an executive that proved Uber knew their app was distracting drivers, it might help the McGinty's win their arbitration, but that memo will remain a secret to the rest of the world, including future victims.
Wow. That's actually crazy. Jesus Christ, man. And, like, I'm thinking about this and I'm just like, what The fuck is up with the goddamn justice system? Like, holy crap, man. You can't go anywhere with these guys. You can't do anything.
In other words, corporations can keep up with business as usual. There is no reason for them to do better or to stop harming the public. Imagine, for instance, if tobacco companies were able to conceal their decades-long knowledge that smoking was addictive and cancerous from the public.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Yeah, that's crazy that this was like an ad back in the day. Bro, I seldom see people smoking now. It's crazy. Like, most of the time, I just see people vape. If anything. I think most people are like trying to make slightly better like health decisions in terms of like vices, but like, I mean, food is so like, nah, but it is getting better, I think. It's not to say that like smoking's been completely obliterated. I mean, I still see people smoking, but it's like, I don't think it's like as prevalent as it used to be.
The second reason arbitration kills institutional change involves precedent. In other words, past court decisions that can be used to bolster future cases. If a court decides that Uber is responsible for the actions of their drivers, that decision would have disastrous consequences for their business model. In arbitration, the arbitrator could make the same decision, but with a quiet payment, Uber never has to deal with this kind of legal apocalypse.
Ah, okay. Now it makes sense.
It hasn't always been like this. Arbitration agreements existed, but were fairly limited in scope. They would cover disputes that were directly related to the contract you signed, like your job. They wouldn't, by contrast, cover your company if they started, say, secretly dumping toxic waste into your backyard 20 years after you left the company. Now, they might. Infinite arbitration clause.
Bro, infinite arbitration? That's a thing? Infinite arbitration? Bro, that sounds like some fucking endgame, like DPS fucking, what do you call it? Build. Are you guys ready to get like the next build on infinite arbitration? Okay, here's the build. Here's what you do. Are you kidding me?
Clauses are those that can mandate arbitration for almost any kind of dispute pertaining to the parent company.
Okay, any dispute between you and us, except for small claims, is subject to class action waiver and must be resolved by individual binding arbitration.
And its affiliates forever. Let's unpack that.
If you open an account with Wells Fargo and there's an arbitration clause in there, and it's written very broadly, not just to cover the account that you've opened, but to cover the situation where they open an account that you know nothing about, that they don't tell you about, well, then you're stuck with that arbitration clause for that other account as well.
Just a point of clarification. Yes, Wells Fargo did do this. And yes, they tried to weasel
Wells Fargo opened a couple million fake accounts. You get what you measure, even if it's not what you wanted.
out of a class action with their arbitration clause.
Corporations aren't trying to expand the reach of arbitration and the breadth of their arbitration clauses to cover.
Bro, why are there so many like shitty people? Oh my God. This is crazy.
Cover as many circumstances as possible because it's more favorable for them, even though it's worse for the everyday consumer.
At a bank, a customer's chair collapsed. When he tried to sue for his injuries, he was forced into arbitration because of the terms of his bank account.
What a fucking meme. What a joke, dude. This is like absolutely crazy. Oh, not responsible. Arbitration. Like, these people want to have all the benefits of the United States, but want to deal with none of the repercussions, like if they fuck up in any way. They don't want to have to deal with any responsibility. Like, I want only the pluses and none of the minuses.
Wayfair knowingly sell consumers products infested with bed bugs. One consumer started a class action on those grounds, but the case was instead sent to arbitration. The reason? The terms of service posted on the Wayfair website said consumers were bound to arbitration. The plaintiff didn't even click I agree.
Agreement to buy, blah, blah, blah. Bro, this is simply like I could probably chat GPT a fucking random ass like a binding arbitration clause and just stick it into like my terms of service and just like delete the word Wayfair and put in my company, and it's like, okay, yep, this is the best paragraph.
General Mills tried to set a policy that liking any of their social media posts amounted to opting in to their forced arbitration policy.
What? When liking a brand online avoids the right to sue? Are you kidding me? Bro, anybody that, like, if any judge were to look at this, they would be like, holy shit, you guys are absolutely retarded. Bro, this is news to me. Why didn't I watch this video before? Oh my God.
After a public outcry, they backed off. In another case surrounding the murder of a 17-year-old at an Airbnb, the company tried to force the victim's mother into arbitration when she filed a wrongful death claim. The victim didn't rent the property, neither did the mother, but the mother signed up for an Airbnb account 4 years prior when a user agreement regarding arbitration was allegedly signed.
Section 22 of these terms contains an arbitration agreement. Yep, that applies to claims brought against Airbnb in the U.S. Please read them carefully.
Arbitration clauses can be buried not only in terms and conditions, but in warranties, privacy policies, in user manuals.
I mean, he's talking about like paper, all right? Because if you sign up to anything like online, you can at least do this. You go like Control F, and it brings up a little bar like right up here. And then you type in RB. I mean, you get the little beeps because there's like no words that say arbitration on here. I don't even know if Control F would work on like a whole nother window with like the term arbitration in there, because you have to like scroll down in the thing.
Truly everywhere. All of these consumer products have some form of arbitration clause.
Acer, Alienware, Black & Decker. Black plus Decker? Wait, when did Black & Decker like change their little thing to like plus? Or was it always like that? Dell, Frigid Air, JBL, Kenmore, KitchenAid, Kodak, Maytag, Nokia, Pixel, Polaroid, Samsung, Sealy.
It's not just that arbitration it's unfair, or even that these arbitration agreements are written in an unfair way, but that they're presented to consumers in an unfair way. Look here at Uber's own 2021 terms and conditions. It takes up something like 14 of the 17 8x11 pages here in my hand, and a consumer is supposed to identify that by flipping through their iPhone, either on a sidewalk while trying to frantically order a ride, or at the dinner table with screaming family members desperate to get their dinner ordered. It's an absurdity. While corporations are trying to expand the scope of arbitration, they're making their arbitration agreement.
They're trying to expand the scope of it. Holy shit, dude. They're trying to like make it so watered down that literally anything can be get put into arbitration. Oh my God.
It's practically illegible. Here, Georgia McGinty is an attorney, and even she would have no idea what was meant by Uber's arbitration agreement.
The McGintys are fighting against Uber's forced arbitration, but as of recording this,
wait, whoa, what was that? Let me see. Their Uber driver crashed. A pizza order unraveled their injury lawsuit.
But as of recording this, it's unclear where the case will ultimately land. There is one government agency that could rein in infinite arbitration clauses, like the one that strapped the McGintys. Just so happens to be the same agency.
Delete CFPB. There are too many duplicative regulatory agencies. From fake gamer himself, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk wants to delete.
Congress gave the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau the power to restrict arbitration clauses in consumer financial contracts.
Okay. Further, the Bureau by regulation may prohibit or impose conditions. Okay, so the Bureau via regulation may prohibit to impose conditions or limitations on the use of an agreement between a covered person and a consumer for a consumer financial product or service providing for arbitration.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to do that in 2017.
Wait, consumer financial. Okay, so wait. Consumer Financial Public Bureau or whatever. So Elon. Oh, so now I get it. He wants to delete this because when he deletes this organization, it allows him to have all of his companies just expand like what arbitration is. But with this little company, it allows it keeps arbitration to like a very small niche thing. Oh, so again, he is a bad guy yet again. Oh my God.
Congress gave the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau
The
power
okay.
to restrict arbitration clauses in consumer financial contracts. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to do that in 2017 by saying that arbitration clauses that provided for class action waivers were not effective. In other words, you could still have a class action even though you'd agreed to an arbitration clause.
The issue ended up in Congress, where Republicans tried to block the new CFPB rule.
The industry fought against.
So I am learning. God damn it. The more I learn, the more I hate learning. God damn it. Like, this is what everyone's fighting about. Like, oh no, we can't expand our terms for what arbitration is. So we can't, anybody that wants to sue us can actually sue us so we don't have to make our companies better or our products better. We can just go around just fucking off and not even like doing anything, trying to be a better business or something. Like, oh my God, dude. Again, this is a case of the haves versus the have-nots. That's what it was. That's what it is. That's what it will always be.
Against it very hard.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50.
Then Vice President Pence cast the tie-breaking vote in the Senate late at night.
With that vote and Trump's signature, the CFPB's new rules on arbitration were dead.
Damn. Wait. Pursuant to the Joint Resolution Arbitration Agreements rule has no force or effect. Wow.
We're dead.
The CFPB still has some power to limit arbitration clauses, but it has not used that power since.
The CFPB has since proposed other rules, but those rules could ultimately get vetoed by Congress again. There are other solutions, however. Congress has already limited forced arbitration for specific cases like sexual assault.
Congress passes new law ending forced arbitration for sexual harassment and assault claims. So sexual harassment and assault, sexual harassment, sexual assault goes arbitration automatically. Jesus.
No reason they couldn't do more, say, for consumer lawsuits. Senator Sherrod Brown also introduced the FAIR Act, which bars forced arbitration clauses in consumer, antitrust, employment, and civil rights cases.
I mean, but like, understandably, if these guys are dealing with like fake cases of like sexual harassment, sexual assault, then I could understand why they want to expand it, because like anybody can like claim that like XYZ, it's like I've been sexually harassed, I've been sexually assaulted or something. So like it's hard to like kind of understand like how much is real versus like just made up, or like making a mountain out of a molehill or something like that. So I kind of, it's very gray. This is a very gray like subject.
But it has yet to get a vote. What's clear is that any effort to hold corporations accountable for their grotesque use of forced arbitration clauses have largely fallen short because most people are ignorant about this play.
Yeah.
Until it's too late. When these clauses do get attention, like in the case of General Mills,
General Mills reverses itself on consumer rights to sue.
Companies tend to back off. After public backlash, Disney finally gave up their attempt to use a Disney Plus subscription to force arbitration on that wrongful death lawsuit at Disney Springs.
Jesus Christ.
By not talking about these hidden, incomprehensible clauses, we're only playing into the hands of negligent corporations that one day might want to silence us.
Damn. I had no idea about that. Holy
Thank you
shit.
so much for watching our video. If you have any ideas or pitches for what we should cover next, leave them in the comments below. And be sure to like and subscribe to get more Perfect Union in your feed.
Bro, I had no idea that that was a thing. Oh my God. None of this is legal in the EU. Don't blame the buttons, blame the law. Giving these absurd powers to corporations. Yup. When corporations rob the poor, it's called business. When the poor fight back, it's called violence. Mark Twain. Damn, dude. That's actually crazy. I had no... So, if I need to, like, make a mental note. If I hear the word, you're going to arbitration, or the phrase, you're going to arbitration, I'm just like, I'm fucked. Okay. Oh, man. That was a great video. I learned how shitty the US is, or at least in that aspect. But damn, you guys keep coming out with more bangers. That was sick. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Later.